We are champion of France. PG, well done. Congratulations. Honestly, this is very amazing. And I want to congratulate the whole PSG team. And to be honest with you, I didn't even know how to start this live. I was so happy and excited to know that PSG is now French champion. So I want to congratulate the whole PSG team. The objective of this live is to review exactly the whole PSG season. I don't know if you are, I hope like, you all like PSG and watching exactly the PSG season. 2023, 2024 was a very exciting season. Uh, so basically, we are going to review exactly what has happened during the whole season and also try to see exactly how PSG is going to manage against Dortmund as the game is starting exactly tomorrow. So it's a very exciting game. So yeah, let's go and analyze that is a whole season PSG season. So PSG has had a very difficult start. Why is exactly PSG has had a very difficult start? Because PSG had a very kind of like transfer market where they always start to focus on Galacticos, try to get exactly the best player in football. So basically, they try to bring exactly Neymar, Mbappe, and also Messi. So those three fantastic players, when they started to play for PSG, they had a very big ego. So this kind of was one of the big issue for PSG, and they were not defending at all. So PSG needed to find exactly, a new model because this model wasn't working. Because what is very kind of consider in French league is mainly exactly winning this Champions League, because PSG, when you look at exactly their budget and their finances, are far ahead everybody else. They are kind of like roughly on the region of 670, 700 million. Can you imagine how much this is? And they on the transfer market is averaging on transfer between 300 to 400 million on a yearly basis. So when you kind of bring all those big ego players, the issue we had is they were not defending that much for the team. And every single time you have the front three, never defending, and this always split the team in two. And I think PSG needed to find exactly how to resolve exactly that challenge. And that exactly is what has happened this year when PSG decided to change exactly the business model. And also they started to change the whole starting 11 with exactly Messi leaving after Neymar exactly leaving. So it was very good to bring exactly the young players now. And PSG decided to bring exactly Ousmane Dembele as part of the team. PSG started to bring exactly also Barley Barcola, and this has brought exactly a completely different front three, moving exactly from Neymar, Messi, Mbappe to now you have exactly Mbappe, Bradley Barcola, and also Usman Dembele. And this is it's less talented front three compared to exactly the front three we had in the before with PSG. But when you look at this front three, it's a very kind of dynamic front three, and they are very good at making with spaces. So they are working a lot with spaces compared to exactly what exactly Messi and Neymar used to do before. Because Messi and Neymar used to kind of like, they are better when the team is high. When you have Dembele, Barcola, and Mbappe, this team is playing far better exactly when there are spaces, because they are very fast player. So I think that change was kind of very much necessary for Paris Saint-Germain. And I'm as a fan, I'm kind of very glad that we went through that change. And when I'm looking exactly this season, I think PSG fan compared to last season, when we won exactly that the title, PSG fan were not really happy because they didn't even celebrate it like the title last year, because they just had enough of this galactico politic of buying, fantastic player, And also, most of the players were kind of buying is it was more for the World Cup, because you have the Qataris, they bought PSG, and also the Qataris were trying to get exposure before exactly the World Cup. But now, when you look at it, is that front three of PSG is far more dynamic compared to the PSG team that we had last season. And to be honest with you, as a PSG fan, I'm very happy that we get rid of Neymar. We just managed to get rid of Messi. Because I'm happy when I see this as a PSG fan now, because the front three exactly we had before, where they were not really working for the team. When the front three we have now, they are all working for the team. They are all, fighting for the team, And I think when PSG fans are going to the stadiums this year, they are feeling far more excited, happy, because they say, okay, wow, for once we are seeing like players fighting for our team, players fighting for what PSG represent. Because basically those players, they grown up in Paris for most of them. Like when you look at exactly Mbappe, grown up in Bondy, which is like the suburb of Paris. After, when you look at exactly Dembele, is from France. So seeing exactly PSG going through and winning exactly, for example, the Champions League is kind of something that it can be proud of. When you bring exactly player like Neymar or Messi, honestly, they don't even care about that much about France. They don't even care about PSG. Basically, they just care about their own performances. And when you put exactly those big ego player not playing for the team, I think this has created like a kind of like a very not strong PSG team. And now, to be honest with you, when you look at exactly as a fan this PSG team, I think the PSG fan are kind of very much happy of based on what they are seeing compared to last year. So yeah, I think this will be the overall analysis of the PSG team this season. After, I think PSG team need to work better in some area of the team. When I say work better, is when you look at exactly the defense, for example, like starting from the back, with Donnarumma. When you look at Donnarumma, to be honest with you, I'm not really reassured, because the performance of Donnarumma, he did very good start of the season, where exactly saved so many times exactly PSG on many different games by crazy, amazing saves that he did during the games. But now, when it comes to critical moments, when exactly everything counts, because all the details count, because that's exactly when you are playing in Champions League. When you play in Champions League, basically all the details count, because if you make one mistake, you can cost a lot to your team, and that's exactly what has happened to Donnarumma during the first game exactly against Barcelona when we play at home, because Donnarumma wasn't really reassuring his defense. And when Donnarumma was making those key and big mistakes, because basically, for example, like, when Christensen scores a goal, the ball is between Christensen and Donnarumma. And Donnarumma is a very tall goalkeeper. And having Donnarumma not going to clear his line, I was honest to be honest, I don't even understand how come exactly Donnarumma is as tall and not doing much, because I don't feel like it's making so much difference exactly sometimes when in the key moment for PSG. And that's I think probably we are going to see in the next game against Dortmund, and if PSG progress further into the final, that's where we expect exactly Donnarumma to make some big differences for the team. Okay. If Donnarumma doesn't make those differences, I think PSG might be looking at, okay, next year we want to bring like a new goalkeeper, because we had Donnarumma, we invested with Donnarumma, and Donnarumma is not making exactly as great as we're expecting. And now, when you look at the back four of PSG, to be honest with you, Ashraf Hakimi this season is on fire. He started very well as a right back, and he did some amazing work with Ousmane Dembele. And when you see those two players linking together and how they have been linking together this season, was amazing to watch, to be honest with you. And then after, when you exactly look at exactly, I think Ashraf Hakimi went a little bit down compared to the beginning of the season. Why Ashraf Hakimi went down a little bit in terms of performances, roughly, it was when he returned from the African Cup. When he returned from the African Cup, I felt like maybe the intensity of the African Cup took a lot of energy from Ashraf Hakimi. And now, when you started to play Ashraf Hakimi exactly on the last game against Barcelona, Ashraf Hakimi has started to perform for the team. So I'm kind of very much happy now when I see exactly Ashraf Hakimi coming back to his best level at the right time for PSG. And when you look at it now, left back, oh, Mendes, honestly, I don't know if you are watching this chat. I can see you have four of us watching the chat right now. But leave some comment about what do you think about Mendes as a left back. Honestly, Mendes as a left back has been. Honestly, I love this player. This Portuguese player is making some massive differences for PSG. And unfortunately, he's kind of enjoyed quite a lot, Mendes, but he's a very fantastic left back. And but now with Luis Enrique, when you look at exactly the team PSG are playing, very often is leaving exactly Ashraf Hakimi, to progress and to bring some differences up front when when Mendes is really a proper left back. It doesn't go that much to make differences up front, because you need to have like a team which is kind of very much, because otherwise if you have exactly Mendes going up front, Ashraf Hakimi going up front, you need to have like secure your back four sometime, or bring exactly an additional player to play as a defense. So I think exactly what Luis Enrique managed to find this season is, because I saw Mendes came back from injury very late on the season, during the season, I think this back four, including exactly Marquinhos, because Marquinhos, we had some challenges about Marquinhos. Why did we have challenges getting Marquinhos? Because when we analyze all the biggest defeat of PSG in Champions League, when we lost exactly 6-1 against Barcelona, oh, remontada. I don't even want to think about remontada. That was a nightmare. That remontada. This was a disaster for all PSG fans. We can't even, we have enough. When people were talking about remontada, we can't even hear remontada anymore. So when you look at exactly Marquinhos, every single time when it came to key moment, Marquinhos wasn't delivering for the team. And every single time he had like, we very often talk in France about the mental issues that Marquinhos is facing when it comes to key moment in the game. So now when you look at exactly Marquinhos is this season, I think, and what I saw Luis Enrique brought to the team is something very key, like a mental, like someone to take care of the player mentally, to make sure that the players are can discuss exactly about their trauma. So this is very important that PSG never had before, and this is the first year that PSG had someone who kind of like, someone to talk about those topics where exactly they have been going through like challenging time. So I think Marquinhos this season, you can feel it, is playing far much better compared to exactly, especially right now when it comes to key moments. And that save he made exactly against Barcelona, when in front of, I don't remember, I think it was in front of Lewandowski. That key save, was kind of very much kind of freedom. You can see how much it meant to him in terms of celebration. He was so happy. He was over the moon. He was like, "Wow, we've made it! We've made it!" Oh, honestly, I was glad for him, because I think this is a very nice lad, and he deserves kind of like, good things. That's what I like kind of Marquinhos. And you know, when you look at exactly Hernandez, I think Hernandez was a good signing from Bayern Munich. At the beginning, I was a little bit skeptical. Why? Why? I think it's kind of normal, because he had too many injuries. Like Dembele, I was fantastic players, but you don't know his injuries. So yeah, so I think like now Hernandez has been playing some good games during the season, but I still feel like Hernandez has had like some moment where he could have done far better, and especially exactly on the first game, first leg against Barcelona. But yeah, I think Hernandez is coming back, and I think having him playing exactly with Marquinhos as a central defender, I think this is exactly what PSG need to kind of like work on that basis, and give them a few games together so that they can be more confident. They can understand exactly how each other are playing, and then they can be more like a stable. And I think that need to be the basis for PSG for the remaining game of the season. So yeah, I think like as a back four at PSG is kind of very strong, and I think they are all coming strong at the right time in Champions League. So yeah, so that will be exactly my analysis of the back four of PSG this season. When I look at the midfield, honestly, this midfield in some way wasn't expected in some ways. I mean, like, we got rid of Marco Verratti. To be honest with you, I like the player, the technical abilities of Marco Verratti. Oh, honestly, this guy is a magician. He's making you can see it, from small spaces when there is many different players around him, he can create magic. That's Marco Verratti. Yeah? But the issue is Marco Verratti was never about his football. The issue about Marco Verratti was always his lifestyle. Yeah, it was always his lifestyle. Why was it exactly his lifestyle? Because Marco Verratti is always kind of like, going partying, smoking, drinking. And this is not exactly what PSG, when you want to win Champions League, you need to have a football player who are very professional, who, it's very important things for them. So now, when I see exactly the changes taken by PSG by getting rid of Marco Verratti, they sold him like to Qatari team because it's more like family team. We send it over there. And then after what we did is we bought exactly Vitinha, and Vitinha is a serious player. He's a very professional player. He's kind of very much focused and dedicated on his football, and now this player is starting to be more and more confident. Every single game is playing, you can feel the confidence. You can see he has the technical abilities. You can see he score goals, things that Marco Verratti wasn't doing for the team. You know, that's in France we're always talking about how many goals has Marco Verratti scored for the team, and very often we're kind of disappointed because we say like, how come like a midfielder score never scored like Marco Verratti. We needed someone to score more goals, and I think bringing Vitinha was kind of the right action to be taken by PSG. And also something that wasn't much expected this season is Warren Zaire Emery. Honestly, yeah, I can see a comment live now. Ren Laren, thank you very much for the support. I appreciate it. I think like I always say, this is kind of like a new life that I just started. So I hope like you enjoy the format. Yeah, but if you have any questions, feel free to drop down your question. You can write them in French or in English. It doesn't matter for me. But so just coming back to Warren Zaire Emery, honestly, Warren, this young lad is a magician, to be honest with you. I feel like it's a very good that PSG team is giving exactly chances to the player from the academy. Because what's the point of getting an academy if you never get any of your players from the academy making it to professional level? And you can see a lot of young PSG player decided to leave. Why did they decide to leave? Because they never had any chances. And when they saw like player coming like Neymar, Messi, even Mbappe, you can see exactly you were buying exactly player like Ramos. It's just like the whole thing. It was just about Galacticos getting the biggest name on football. For what? For what? Have they delivered? To be honest with you, when we bring those kind of players, it's not about winning the French league. Who cares? Because you win the French league every single season. So what was important to PSG was to bring those big players, big names, in order to make sure that you're making the difference in Champions League. Yeah, and they never managed to deliver in Champions League. And for once, when we changed exactly the whole project, that's exactly when PSG, when they started to bring the players from the academy, those players have love for PSG, love for the city, love for the culture, love for, they just feel happy to be there. It's just, their eyes are shining. Even when you listen to when Zaire Emery, when he extended his contract, because he extended his contract not long ago, he extended his contract until 2029, which is like a 5 years contract extension, because it's 4 years plus 1 year bonus. So when you listen to that player, when he signed his contract, you can say, oh yeah, most of the players are saying this, but no, it's not true. His player is been in PSG for nearly 10, 11 years. Okay, can you imagine? He went through the academy of Paris Saint-Germain. So for him, it's like it's a dream. It's like something like he's been working hard his whole life for this. Yeah. And now when he wears a PSG jersey, can you imagine his eyes are shining? Yeah, he said like, wow, this is I always wanted this, and this now is happening to me. So yeah, so I feel like I think this is the right strategy PSG need. They need to bring exactly great player. You don't need superstar, but you need great player who are very professional, dedicated to the team, happy to do the hard work for the team, and then after, you can bring also exactly some young players from your academy, like Warren Zay Emery. And I think this player now is going to be exactly the foundation of PSG in the long term. And there, so when you listen to this, I think I think for me, for also all the PSG fan, it makes sense to follow exactly that strategy. And when we kind of see this as a PSG fan, we feel happier, because the reason why we feel happy is due to the fact that we feel very connected to the team. We feel like they represent us. It's kind of like me, playing for PSG Academy and making it to the professional level, because I've grown up in Paris. Paris is my city, my town. So that's the reason why exactly when you make it to that professional level, you feel, and as a PSG fan, we feel like more represented by people who have been like growing in Paris, going through they know how hard it is for Parisian in general. So I think that's kind of like something which is quite great. And now the third player, we were expecting to have Manuel Ugarte, but unfortunately, he started very strong when he signed exactly for PSG, but then after he started to go a little bit down, because I think like he need to work and improve his technical abilities, and you need time for that, because he's a very physical player. But when it comes exactly to being more technical, because and sometimes people, when you listen exactly to the French outlet, or when you listen exactly to the French newspaper or the PSG fan in general, you feel like they are kind of very much like, oh, Ugarte, is it compatible with Luis Enrique? And I think sometimes, I'm not sure. Maybe exactly in the long run, is going to improve as a player, but as of now, I think there is still some work needed there. And yeah, and I can see a comment from Mariama. Yeah, ici c'est Paris. Yeah, Paris Saint-Germain. Paris is magic. Let's make an applause for PSG. Yeah, so yeah, this is Paris Saint Germain, of course. This is a live chat for PSG fan, yeah. So I hope you will be many to follow exactly this chat moving forward. I can give some follows to the channel itself, because it's just a new created channel. So I hope to be able to develop it further. And if you like this kind of content, give us some energy, some good vibe, yeah, by following exactly this channel, guys, yeah. So yeah, overall, I think like this PSG season was kind of very, very much exciting, very exciting. I think we are very happy to see exactly this PSG team. Even when you see exactly other teams, I think they respect more this PSG team compared to the PSG team we had before, because they feel like, oh wow, wow, this is kind of like, even when we receive the congratulation, because when we became like French champion a few days ago, and Real Sociedad sent a message to PSG like, on X, and they congratulated PSG for the great, for being champions, because I feel more respect. People are respecting more PSG now. And I think like PSG needs to keep progressing in this new project of bringing exactly people from the academy, developing them, giving them their chance. And I think if PSG keep going that way, I think PSG can do very, very, very good. So yeah, so I hope, guys, once again, yeah, you love this new format, and you are going to follow, give some like, because this is very much needed in order for us to do better, get more fans, more people following us. So yeah, I hope you like this new format, and I hope to see you soon next time. This is my just one live, so probably I will do a new live before exactly the Dortmund game, just to have a kind of like analyze exactly what's happening on Dortmund side, what's happening on PSG side. and hoping that PSG is going to progress, because at the end we are all PSG fan. Yeah. Okay, guys, thank you. And Rennes la Reine, of course, Paris est magique. Have a good day and take care of your loved one. Yeah. Bye, team.